Good evening, YouTube. This is Kayleen Strain coming at you with my regular Sunday night dinner. And this will be one that I have been wanting to do for quite some time. And thanks to Survival Empire, I will be able to pull this off. But the comparison ration will be Latvian instead of Polish. And I'm trying to bring my stream up on my tablet. There we go, it is finally there. So what I have is a 2024 US MRE. It's menu 22, beef goulash. I've had Polish goulashes before. But I had not been able to get another one of those for quite some time, despite trying. But thanks to Survival Empire, the Latvian will do, and he found one that has beef goulash as the main entree. This is packed by Sapaco. And this one, it looks like the peanut butter got compromised. I cut it open off screen because these things are so hard to get into without mangling it. So I'm going to pull out some of the items that are closer to the back of the pack first. Yeah, some things are stuck together, so I might have to do a little cleanup. This is chunky peanut butter. And this one appears to have been poked. Oh no, it's the strawberry jam that got, yeah, it is, the strawberry jam is sticky, so I'm going to have to clean it up. The drink is lemon lime in the shaker pouch. That will be for the drinking jar. And this pouch, I'm going to have to clean it up. This is the applesauce with raspberry puree. You've seen that recently. So something leaked on it. Here is the goulash pouch. This one is clean. The FRH and accessory pack with no coffee, but I got my backup plan. The FRH seems to be clean. Patriotic sugar cookies, and it looks like I'm going to have to clean this one up a bit. This one is sticky. But the spoon wrapper stayed clean, so I'm happy about that. And one thing got literally sealed into the ration bag. And this is the mini loaf bread pre-sliced, or supposedly. The last time I had one of these, it did not separate very well. Here is the heater sleeve with the nutrition facts and ingredients, and this got crushed during the vacuum sealing process. So I am guessing that something got squeezed. But that bread turned out fine. As far as the package goes, this one did not get a tear notch, but I'm going to fix that. I have my little cheater tool. Got waffles here, booger butt. Infos is here. Gonna scroll up the chat. That's all I see so far. Thanks for dropping in. I like to stick the drink pouch pretty far into my drinking jar to kind of control the dust. Spicy tuna rolls and Tim Riley have slid in. I think it is kind of neat that I got the patriotic sugar cookies in this one. That one is going to get another mix later. So I'm going to have, since there's no coffee in here, I'm going to have one of my Nescafes that I got out of a box of them that I bought at Hill Isle Groceries last year. It's a 3-in-1. So the bread will stay here, but all these that I have to clean up, I'm going to take all these into the kitchen to clean them up, and then I will put this in a pot to start heating that up, and I'll be back in a few. I am back. I'm going to give my coffee a stir, and then I'm going to open up everything else that I have here. I cleaned up the packets. I chose my foreign MRE mug tonight. Oxygen absorber left in the packet. Although this says pre-sliced, I think it got compressed a bit. So I'm not even going to bother attempting that. Here is the raspberry applesauce. I do like this. And this is one of those things that you could just suck it right out of the pouch. Oops. Get that out of there. And the patriotic sugar cookies are probably going to be a bit messed up. I'm gonna cut my own tear notch in this. Well, that didn't go far enough. There we go. Put them right here. Yeah, they look pretty beat up. They got the squeeze put on them. I cleaned up the strawberry jam packet. I'm going to put the squeeze on it, see if I can see where it may. Yeah, right up here. It's where it got poked somehow. But this is a chunky peanut butter. The packet just needed to be cleaned up a bit. I just ripped it straight across the top. You try to squeeze it out through a small opening. No, that's not going to happen. You're not going to get all of the bits of the peanut out of there, unfortunately. But the chunky peanut butter you don't get that very often. Ah, that is so not cool. That is so not cool. That happened to another YouTuber on the directions of the management of the apartment building she used to live in. Yeah, she's disabled. So that means when you use a power chair, you can't get out a whole lot in the winter. So they got rid of a whole bunch of her preps. So she moved out of theirs in another place. And when you live on a very limited income, it's hard to replace all that you lost, but she is working at it. Yeah, definitely you got to complain to someone about that. Fortunately, when I had a cleaning crew come in after my apartment got flooded in the spring of 24, all they did was just throw away some empty boxes. Unfortunately, they threw away the box that my Opus power station came in, and I lost the charging cable for it. And I lost the user manual for it, but I was able to go on eBay, and Opus sells the charging cables by themselves, along with other refurbished power stations. So I was able to buy a replacement charging cable for it. It still needs no mix. To Carlos Perry in the house. This is my second run at Goulash comparison. I had 2 of these MREs, and the previous one that I opened up, I was going to compare it with a Polish ration, but the goulash in that one was in a small can that just fit in this area here on this tray, and it was like a beef luncheon loaf instead of a true legit goulash. Yeah, and that rain was so bad in some parts of Des Moines and the suburbs that a hospice facility had to be evacuated, and there are several neighborhoods that lost their power. Yeah, it was pretty bad. Fortunately, where I'm at, I was not affected. I'm going to go ahead and get my goulash, and I'll be right back. I am back. I'm gonna dry this off. This is one of my favorite US MRE menus outside of the halal menu lineup. I think I'm going to try the other end. Sometimes these tear notches don't work all that great, but well, that one didn't work all that great either. There we go. I'm going to call that good enough for getting that out of there. There's a piece of carrot. There's the beef. Good sized chunk of beef that is shredded like a pulled beef, so it pulls apart pretty easily. I like the seasonings in this. Average Joe, thanks for dropping in. 2024 pack, US MRE, menu 22. Then next Sunday, I will dig into that Latvian ration with beef goulash as an entree that I got from Survival Empire. Now, I really do enjoy this menu. It puts stuff in there that you wouldn't expect in other entrees. Yeah, you need to try this one if you can get a hold of it. Unfortunately, my strawberry jam got poked somehow during a sealing process. And this bread that is supposed to be pre-sliced, it got compressed pretty bad. So I decided I'm not going to even try to open it up. This is the raspberry applesauce here, and the patriotic cookies. Got a few whole ones here. I'm able to flip over. Got the Liberty torch. Got the flag, Uncle Sam's hat, and the Liberty Bell, and a star. Yeah, some of these are busted up, but some held their shape pretty good. Accessory packet bag, you could put twice as much stuff in here as what they put in here. So there's salt, a rear roll, peppermint gum, a wet wipe, and matches. That's it. No coffee, but I have my backup plan. I got a Nescafe 3-in-1 that I got from Hilla Groceries. It's not like the sweet and creamy, but I do like it. It's almost up there with G7, which is a Vietnamese 3-in-1 coffee that I really like. So this is chunky peanut butter. You can kind of, actually, might be able to see it better here where the bread was sort of scored. It was not scored very well. I can't even see it on this side. Kind of see it on this edge, but it's very uneven. But that's when I put the chunky peanut butter on, just like that. Mike Kreischer in the house. Thanks for dropping in. Got the American Goulash out here. Next Sunday, I will get into that Latvian one. This one has the patriotic cookies. I got the 5 different shapes on top of the pile. The strawberry jam packet got compromised. It got poked somehow and it squeezed onto some of the other items in here. fact, right here is where some of it got squeezed. I put my finger on it so you can kind of see better where the jelly got squeezed out from that packet. So I had to clean a few things off. I got that stuff on it. Yeah, last night and Friday night, there's some fireworks going on around here. Last night, people were going to the end of the exit driveway of my building, which is what I can see when I'm looking out my slider or standing on the deck. I can see that driveway, and people were standing there or on the sidewalk right by that driveway and shooting off some of those launcher things. As well as lighting up bunches of firecrackers. Plus I could hear the fireworks being shot off from the nearest display, which is from the either by the river, or Friday night we had Yankee Doodle Pops, so I heard that one. I couldn't see much though, but I don't know if there was fireworks after. I don't know if the Iowa Cubs played here last night, or if they just shot off fireworks from the river. And I could hear it, but I could hear fireworks all around, to the north and to the east. I couldn't see much, but I could hear it. Pumpkin, she's kind of like, yeah, whatever. I'm just going to go sleep like a lazy cat. But last night I did see someone with a little dog on the sidewalk while two others are shooting off some of their fireworks, and I'm surprised that dog didn't freak out. When I first had Mila, I was living in a different place, so I didn't get to hear too much for fireworks, but I could hear some. They're a bit more distant. But she just kind of like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, when I first took Pumpkin in, it was in August, so it was after July, so it was almost a year before she got to hear them. Although I think some were being shot off New Year's Eve. Yeah, that's probably what I heard from the east. But I couldn't remember if there were fireworks after that or not. But it sounded like it was one heck of a light show over there. Well, look who it is. Art and Nina, thanks for dropping in. Thanks for that super chat and saying hello to everybody. I hope you can come back next Sunday and see me do the Latvian version of this. Delicious over in Poland, he commented that he had never seen a Latvian ration come in that particular shade of green. That bag, of that bag, just the lighter one, the more of a almost a pastel type green bag, but this one is a light version of Odie green. So he had never seen that color in a Latvian ration bag before, so I got that from Survival Empire. He didn't want anything in return for it. He just wanted to help me out because he had one. So I'm able to do a goulash comparison, and I'm looking forward to that. I think it's cool that I got patriotic sugar cookies in this one. And they still got their flavor, they still got their light crunch. Thanks for dropping in, Dave. Hope to see you another time. This is one of those where I wish I had double the amount. Outside of the halal lineup, this is my favorite standard MRE menu. Or it's my favorite entree. And it goes good with this Nescafe 3-in-1 coffee. What I could have done with this bread is tear it apart and put the goulash on top of it, but I decided not to. That pre-sliced, at least on this one it's a lie. They need to take a hint from the company that does the Canadian hamburger buns, because those almost always open up really good. But thanks for dropping in, Mike. I don't have a Survival Empire mug, but he may have stickers that he puts on some of his mugs and glasses, or he had them made and just doesn't have a merch store. I don't know. But I'll bring a different mug out next time. Now that I have a few YouTuber channel mugs, I can rotate between them. If this strawberry jam wouldn't have been messed up, I probably could have squeezed it a little dab on each cookie, but nope, that's not going to happen. It's kind of a bummer that one got messed up. There's CR in the house. Thanks for dropping in. This is goulash number 1. Next week, goulash number 2. But that one will be Latvian. And as you can see, I've eaten half of this goulash already. This is the best tasting MRE entree that I have had in the current lineup. At least out of those that I have had. I had a whole case B that Waffle sent me. I traded the pepperoni pizza slice off, along with some other things, since I don't eat pork. And my 2022 pack case A is almost gone, so I had 2 of these goulash MREs, so this is the second one. But I'm all out of the case Bs, and soon I will have eaten all of the case As. Those are packed in 22, but I got big rations coming up. Of course, the last week in July, I will be on vacation at Lake Icaria, so the last Sunday I will not be streaming. Thanks for dropping in, Waffles. But after I get back, I will be looking to get a few more rations. I want the C cars. I would love to get some more recent MCWs, especially some of the newer menus, where the entree is in the Mountain House Retail Pro Pack instead of an unsealable pouch that is this color. Those Pro Packs, once you put the water in and mix it up, you can zip the bag shut, and you don't and you shouldn't have much of worry about losing your goods. Like the slender pouches that were this color that had no zip seal at the top. But I would like to get a few of those along with the sea cars. And since the sea car replaces the first strike ration, just for my personal enjoyment, I would love to get some first strikes. Those two Moors I had, I actually opened those up, and I took some of those components with me to eat while I was working the White Eagle Multicultural Powwow booth at the art festival last weekend. Figured the snacks would be perfect because I could just open them and eat them, because we're pretty busy quite a bit of the time handing out the TP kits and info cards about our upcoming powwow in September. That was our first time at the art festival, and we were invited to return next year. Yeah, CR is probably going to go hunt for something right now. I'm curious why the lemon lime drink was put in here. I don't know if when the ration bags are being filled, if someone or a robot is just randomly picking drink pouches and putting them in the bag, or if it is following a specific list that you have to put this particular drink in this particular bag. I don't know how that works. Yes. But the patriotic sugar cookies, I thought that was a pretty cool item to have. A day late, but who cares? I didn't do much of anything yesterday until the evening when I went outside to record the fireworks sounds. My phone that I'm streaming on, I still had like 40-some% battery, and it decided to shut down, so then I grabbed my backup. Video quality in that one is not so good, but I wanted to capture some more, so I did it anyway. Yep, someone just popped a big firecracker not too far from here. My slider is shut, and I can still hear it. So that was pretty close. I think people will be popping off what they have left from all the fireworks that they bought. We have an actual store here in the area as a permanent location. And the ads I hear for it on a radio station I listen to say their prices are cheaper than pop-up fireworks market that is just across the border of Missouri. But I would know. I just don't buy them. I suppose maybe one day I might do that, go down to the driveway and pop a few off, but then again, I'd rather just stand on my deck and record it. If I was in a position where I could actually see more of them, then I would probably stream it. Now that's it for the goulash. Like I said, I wouldn't mind having double the portion of that. This is the applesauce with raspberry puree. I like this one. It's something different. And then just the typical applesauce. Although I like the cinnamon's applesauce. I don't see that very often, but I do like that one, but I think this one's better. Have never seen applesauce. Actually, I think some of the applesauce cups have different flavors in it, but I don't know if I've seen raspberry. Maybe not. Next time I go into a grocery store, I'll just look at them, see what's there, just to satisfy my curiosity. Then again, I could dip a cookie in it. That makes a good little treat too. But with these cookies being so light, some of them would probably break. Now, I could throw some of the smaller pieces into there, but maybe not. And chunky peanut butter on this unsliceable pre-sliced bread. The only thing about eating the peanut butter on the bread is it makes you a bit thirsty, so I've got to take a drink after that. But last night, or for my dinner, like Friday night, I pulled out like my last pack of the deer steaks that I had gotten from an in-law last year. I decided I'm going to cook those up. So I threw a little butter in the pan, seasoned them up a bit, and had those for dinner. What the heck, I'll dip it again. And speaking of grocery stores, part of my shopping for this month, I'm specifically looking for my contributions for the lake trip. I buy a pack of the halal beef bacon that's made here in Iowa from MRE. They're based in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And I usually get either a bag of the beef sausage patties or the MRE beef sausage links. And I usually grab a pack of the halal beef hot dogs, just in case my sisters didn't pack enough of the hot dogs that they choose, and I add some snacks. I got some drink mixes to go along with that. So when I do my July shopping haul, then I will show all of that. I got a few freebie finds that will be included in that. So I will be doing that. Because Wednesday I plan on finishing my my shopping. Might pick up a few more things Thursday, I'm not sure. But I like to get my shopping done for the month early. I only get my SSDI deposit once a month. And so I pay my bills, I do my shopping and call it good. Then I don't have to think about it again. Of course, I will be doing laundry. We use a laundry app here, or you can have the option of using quarters, but I prefer the laundry app, but I stack quarters as a backup. Plus, my quarters can double as a bus fare. if I needed to, if I can't use my pass. But back in May, I bought tokens, and so I keep those in my bag. I have both half fare and the full fare tokens. I chose to get both. So that way, if I can't use my pass for whatever reason, I can tell the bus driver that I got tokens. I can always put one of those down the hole. But a lot of the times the drivers will just say, go ahead and sit. That happens a lot when the fare boxes are not very cooperative. Of course, the last half of last month, when our new route structure kicked in, all rides are free. Now, I tease the bus driver about not being able to afford too many more of these free rides, just to have a little fun with them. Yeah. These cookies. Let's see if I could find a. I think I might be out of the whole ones. Nope, there's a whole star. I'll dip a star in the coffee. You don't want to hold it in there too long, or you end up with crumbs in your coffee. I'll probably just end up eating the rest of them straight up. Yeah, I'm out of the whole ones. All that's left in here are pieces. Nope, there is one whole torch. And I'm going to dip that in applesauce. So for those who will be watching this on the replay, and those of you who live in the States or you are Americans living abroad, I hope you're able to celebrate 250 years of the U.S. being a nation. Back this morning on the radio, on another station I listened to, there was a reporter who was at the National Mall, and there was a British tourist who was here, and she said she was not used to the heat because it was pretty hot in DC. Plus Europe has been having their heat wave, so it's been pretty hot, especially in Spain. But she was there taking it all in. She was having a good time. I thought that was pretty neat that she got to do that while she was here watching the World Cup. Yeah, the U.S. plays next in the World Cup on Wednesday. I haven't been watching or listening to it. I just kind of keep up with. I listen to the scores on the radio. That's pretty much about it. I got another whole torch. Yeah, like I said, they've been having a heat wave that they're not used to, and not very many people have air conditioning in their homes. And in parts of southern Spain, it was really bad. I think the highest I had heard when it was the worst there was 44 Celsius. That is well over 100 Fahrenheit. And that is extremely hot. I think the last time I was out in a temperature that hot was a couple of different times. Back in '86 when I was in Arkansas, I was attending summer classes at the University of Central Arkansas, and at dinner time, the temperature was still 117 Fahrenheit. And the humidity was like 200%. And the air conditioner in my dorm room crapped out. Now, back in '89, I was with a group that was in State Fair Parade. And it was still like 106 Fahrenheit at the time that parade started. And by the time we got done, first thing I did was get inside and take a cold shower. So that, I have seen that heat, but when you combine it with the humidity, that's what gets you. When my one remaining aunt was living in Arizona, it got hot, but it's a dry heat down there. The humidity is very low most of the time, but she's back here in Iowa. She wanted to be closer to grandkids and great-grandkids. So she came back to Iowa. Yeah, a whole different kind of heat here with the humidity. Not as bad as the south. You know, when I was in Arkansas, the humidity down there was sometimes a lot worse than it can get here, but here it can get pretty bad. But last Sunday, at the art festival, I was the one to get to our booth first, so I set up my Opus power station with my fan, and these big concrete column things that are about as high as my table here, and about as wide as my tray, about round. They had looped rebar sticking out of it, and that's what the guy lines are tied to. Use some kind of like an excavator or something to pick those things up when it's time to move them. After all, you're setting these up on the street, and there's no way to stake them down, so you have to use. So they came up with the solution of these columns with rebar, bent rebar, that you can tie the guy lines to, and plus an excavator can pick it up and put it on a trailer to haul it away when it's time to take everything down. But that was wide enough to put my fan on. So that was in one of the back corners of the tent that our booth was in. And then one of my cohorts brought his battery-powered fan that's about the same size, set that up in the opposite corner on a table. So we had both of those going. So that did help some. And by the time I shut my fan off to pack it up in my grocery hauler, my Opus fit in there with the fan and some other stuff. I ran it down to 45% from 100%. Set the fan on high. So I probably could have ran that thing at least another 3 hours, maybe 4. But we got invited next month to set up at another event. That's only going to be for a few hours, but because it's in August, I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to pack my Opus power station and that fan, and that should help keep us cool a little bit. This particular event, it's a charity half marathon, but it's something that Dolly Parton started, and this organization hosts these around the country, and it's actually a literacy event. So if we can get some books on maybe some indigenous books, and the founder of the Multicultural Powwow, he and his wife, well, he wrote some books, so we may have some of those. Unfortunately, he was in the hospital. I'm not sure if he's still in the hospital or if he got sprung, but yeah, he and his wife are getting up there in years. Their health is not all that great, so they have stepped back from being part of the powwow committee, and they are going to try to look for a better house that can accommodate their physical needs better than where they currently live. But if we can get some of his books, plus some others, and I think we will do the TP kits again, because they were a big hit, and it was easy, because all we had to do was download a pattern and print them out. We had a bulk supply of 4-count crayon packs that we'd throw in, and we'd put them in gallon bags, and we put an info card about the powwow. So we gave out over 500 of those at the art festival. We'll probably give out maybe 200-300 if we do the same thing again at this event in August. Yeah, here, let's see. Oh, 67. Yeah, I would love that. I'm going to grab this one. I'm going to make sure that it is. It is still 84 Fahrenheit. So that's still a little warm. But if it was 67, I would have my air conditioner off. I would have my slider open. Of course, I can only open a crack because otherwise Pumpkin will climb the screen. Because she likes to do that, so I can't let her do that. Now back to the powwow committee. I also found out that someone is going to be getting us shirts. All matching shirts. So all that was needed was to ask, you know, what sizes we all wear. I don't think we'll have those for the event next month, but definitely for the powwow we should have them. I think that'll be cool. Just finishing off this applesauce. Yeah, I'm going to look for that raspberry flavored applesauce in stores. Usually it's like a Mott's or a store brand knockoff. But when I get my powwow committee shirt, I'm going to throw up a community post. So you all will be able to see what it looks like. I noticed from checking out the other booths in the nonprofit section of the art festival that some of the groups, they were all wearing matching t-shirts, just like all of the general festival volunteers and staff were all wearing matching t-shirts. Kind of gives you an idea of who belongs to which group. And there was some noise about our resident beater, who also makes ribbon skirts and what are known as regalia for the indigenous people who request it from her. There was some noise about maybe making ribbon skirts for the women on the committee and a ribbon vest for the men, but because she has been having some difficulties lately with her truck crapping out and her husband getting smacked by another driver while on the road somewhere. Not as bad as last year, but yeah, enough to really mess up your day when you don't have a working vehicle in between the two of you. It can be a bit hard, so now she was in a competition for a national competition, but she just missed out on making the final round. But she was very happy to get as far as she did. And she had some of her beadwork in a museum, and I think it is still there. Yeah, she beads. She makes moccasins, and then she beads them. She, like I said, she makes the ribbon skirts. She makes shirts and vests for both men and women. She makes the headwear. She made one for her son, who is getting better at dancing because he is so into learning the dances of his tribe. She's originally from Oklahoma, but she and her husband have been here in Iowa for quite some time. But I gave her that string that I'd sorted out from that big bag of mixed yarns and strings. The ones that had it's a thread about a little bit thicker than dental floss, but it had about the thickness of your average kitchen twine, but it had this glittery fringe on it. So she had seen, I posted pictures in our group chat, and I said, could this be good for regalia? But then at the art festival, she was there, so I gave her the bag and I said, would this be good? She said, oh, heck yeah. She thought that was some pretty neat stuff, and she will use it. A lot of these pieces are no longer than the length of my tray, and some may be shorter. Really small pieces that were maybe no no bigger than width of one of these cookies. They're not usable, so I threw away all those little tiny pieces. But the other two yarns, I have them separated into two other bags by type. One that is suitable for like putting pony beads on. Those will go to the powwow for the kids to string beads on. And then the other one that's a little bit more delicate, kind of more fuzzy type. I'm sure the way these kids take the supplies that we put out and do something completely different than what we thought, they'll find some way to use it. We still have a whole bunch of the wood cookies that I donated last year. We had other craft projects for them to do. So we'll have the wood cookies. I bought several species of woods. And I put them out. You can do whatever you want. You can paint on them. Some would glue things on them, or glue them onto a piece of paper or whatever. They did lots of stuff with them. And the 12-inch rounds that were super thin that I had, those were given to an artist, an indigenous artist, to paint on, but I have not seen the results of that yet. I call those kind of a happy accident because I did not think that they would be 12 inches. I didn't look at the listing clear enough. But nope, these will still get given to the powwow committee. Something will be done with them, and so they went to an artist who paints on things like that. So we've been assembling other stuff for the craft area, and my crafting partner is moving back to Iowa. I think she has already, I'm not sure if she's already found a house here, or she's still in the process of packing up where she's at now. But she flies back, she has been flying back here to Des Moines for the powwow every year. But she officially resigned her position at the school she was at, and she's already taken a position here in the area, so she won't have to worry about flights and trying to find a rental car that may not be big enough to haul her stuff and my stuff. Oh, our fishy friend has been here while he's probably just been lurking and maybe having his own dinner. Now these cookies are pretty much crumbs. But I'll still finish them off. By the way, how's it been out your way with the World Cup action going on around there? Has it been crazy? I bet it has. I'm going to call it good for those cookies. I wouldn't be surprised if things are crazy out in California. I think a couple of games were played in the Rose Bowl. I could be wrong on that. I think there were some games played in San Francisco. Several states were hosting World Cup games. Unfortunately, none here in Iowa. FIFA decided that Des Moines just isn't soccer crazy enough here. But we do have a minor league soccer team here, the Des Moines Menace. There was noise about getting a new soccer stadium here, but that kind of went down the crapper, at least for now. So the Menace will play where they have been playing. I have no idea where. But yeah, we do have a minor league soccer team here. I have never gone to a soccer game at any level. But I think it would be nice to go to one. But I know I wouldn't have to pay anywhere near the ticket prices I would if I were going to a World Cup game. But I think that has probably spurred more interest. Because the ads I'm seeing, some of the ads I'm seeing here on YouTube are soccer themed. Which I thought was kind of interesting. The 5 watching, those of you who are lurking, I don't know who you are because I really can't see that. I'm only seeing me and CR as active participants, but my watch count shows there are 5. But I hope you're enjoyed this. I hope you come back next Sunday where I will be getting into that Latvian goulash ration. I am definitely looking forward to it. It'll be my second Latvian ration. The first one I had earlier this year was awesome. Yeah, I get ads that are in English and Spanish, which I don't mind. Although I think the way they do some of the Spanish ads are kind of, they use AI for some of that, and I think they're a bit odd. But one of them I seen this toddler trying to kick a soccer ball around, and the mom is encouraging him to kick it around. Yeah, that one is a Spanish language ad, but I don't care about how it's phrased, but just showing this toddler trying to kick around a soccer ball, that is pretty cute. Yeah, I am seeing that one as well, that Cane's Chicken. Until I started seeing their ads, I had never heard of that place before. I have no idea where the closest one here is, if there is one in this area, but it seems like all it is they only advertise their chicken fingers, like that's all they have. Yeah, I have seen that World Cup theme ad. But I don't know if it's just new to Iowa or if they just started advertising. I don't know. But if chicken fingers is all they have to offer, nope, I'm not interested. For the same amount of money, I can go buy a box of frozen chicken tenders and heat them on myself. Well, CR, if you got a scat, go ahead. I'm about done here anyway. But if anyone wants to chat for a little bit longer, I can hang. I have no problem with that. All of these items that I do not use get stashed away. I have a Ziploc bag full of plastic spoons that this will go in. I just took it out of the wrapper. Takes up less space in the bag if I take all the spoons out of the wrappings. And then all of these few things are in the accessory pack. They will get stashed away. I got specific places for them. Dee Bean and Sons matches. I got a bag for them. These are brown with white tip, and I have no idea what the color means, but not all accessory packs are having matches these days. And remember last week, I had 2 of these salt packets. Somehow that particular MRE ended up with 2 salt packets instead of just one in the accessory pack. So I thought that was kind of weird. Of course, I have bags full of these FRHs that I save. Actually took one with me to the art festival when I thought that I would maybe have time to heat it up. I broke open my halal MRE. I took some of the snacks out of it, and I took the beef and barley stew with the heater sleeve, but I just ended up sticking to the snacks. I left the mosque right after the Friday prayer. I didn't take a lunch from there. I just grabbed my grocery hauler to have my power station in it. And I just went and hopped a bus and headed to the park where the art festival was. Now, if it's near the Jordan Creek Mall, there is a bus that goes near there. I think only one goes near there now. But as far as going to Prairie Meadows, no. So I probably won't be bothering to go there. I won't seek it out specifically. At the art festival, there were a variety of food trucks, and on Saturday, one of the others working the booth with me, she wanted to go hit up a food truck, and there was a Lebanese food truck there. So, yeah, let's try this. When I could have easily said, I want to go to Kamal's food truck, but I wanted to give this Lebanese guy a shot. So she bought my lunch for me. So that was pretty good. It has a beef sausage in a fresh made pita bread, which is really good. But the rest of the time I just, when I had a bit of downtime, I would just reach into my little insulated lunch bag that I put all my snacks in. I would just grab one of those. And of course I drank water. But Sunday, because I knew it was going to be hot, Saturday night, I mixed up my last two, there's a Barty Armor brand electrolyte drinks. I was saying the wrong name earlier, but I mixed up my last two Body Armor drink mixes, the lemon lime, and then I had one of those US MRE stick drink powders, lemonade, the sugar-free one. I put a little bit in each of those bottles along with that electrolyte drink mix, and then I had another electrolyte drink already in a bottle just ready to drink. Didn't have to mix it. So I had been sitting on that one for a while, so I took that one plus the two bottles that I had mixed myself that I'd kept in the fridge, and I kept those in my hauler so they could stay at least cool a little bit longer. So I drank all three of those Sunday. The third one I just probably drank about half of it there, and then it was time to pack up and go. Then the rest of it I drank while waiting for buses. I have those liquid IV sugar-free ones that I bought from a Hy-Vee that had them clear, like reduced to half price for that box. I took those out of that box and then I put them in a sandwich bag. So I may take those to the lake with me. Yeah, that flavor is called white peach, so I have not tried any of those yet, but I think they'll be good. During Ramadan, one of the other women offered me a packet of the strawberry kiwi liquid IV, so she poured that in my water bottle. Ooh, yeah, that's pretty good. I like that stuff. But other days last week, when I was doing some of my shopping, I would I'll grab an electrolyte drink from one of the coolers and drink that while waiting for buses to go home. Oh, there's my pumpkin. Pumpkin. Oh, she went under my chair. I moved my table so you can see her, but she goes under my chair. Pumpkin. Come here, Pumpkin. Not here, Kitty. Here's a pretty torty girl. Here's a little torty girl. Pumpkin. Here's a pretty little torty girl. What's in your little kitty mind, Pumpkin? What's in your little kitty mind? Hopefully you got a little glimpse of her. Yeah, Pumpkin, they like seeing the kitty. They like seeing the kitty, Pumpkin. They like seeing the kitty. The pretty little tortoise girl. She'll make an appearance now and then, not every week. Isn't that right, Pumpkin? Sometimes she's just too busy sleeping like a lazy cat. But I love her just the same. I'll put this back here. Just got my lemon lime drink and my coffee. Finish that off. So what I like about this one, you don't get that deep colored residue like you get with the red drink powders that come in U.S. rations. Yeah, it washes out, but if I wasn't using a glass one, it probably would be coloring the plastic glass that I might use. Apparently Pumpkin thinks there's something underneath this old printer stand that I have. I store a whole bunch of other stuff in there, but apparently she thinks there's something under there. She's looking intently underneath it. I suppose if a bug gets in here when I'm going in and out of my slider, she may try to go after it, and she has done that. You think there's something under that pumpkin? You think there's something under there? Oh well, it gives her something to hunt now and then. Again, thanks to Art and Nina for sending the replacement for an MRE mug. I probably got the last one they had out of the ones that they keep for their own use. But next Sunday, I'll randomly pick another mug for the Latvian ration. But kind of bummed the strawberry jam was a bit messed up. Kind of leaked out on some of the other items that I had to clean off. But oh well, it happens. At first when I was looking at the bag, I thought, oh crap, the peanut butter leaked, but nope, it was this. But it could have been worse, and I'm glad it wasn't. Again, next Sunday, the comparison of the goulashes with the Latvian ration. I'm so looking forward to digging into that one, because that other Latvian ration I had was really good. I enjoyed it. And I can't wait to dig into that one next Sunday. So come back next Sunday for the second part of the goulash comparison. On to tonight. And again, for Art and Nina for kicking me that super chat. That's much appreciated. I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching, and catch you on the flip side.